welcome back to the 2017 DreamHack Hearthstone Grand Prix for the first time ever in Atlanta, Georgia. My name's Cora Songbird Georgiou, and I'm joined on the desk by Falcone and Lothar, who are going to be bringing us our next Swiss round. We are currently in round 4, guys. I know it's been a long day. You guys have to be incredibly jet lagged. I've got the home field advantage this time around. How are you guys feeling so far, though? Are you enjoying it?
Not gonna lie, I'm jet lagged.
You're struggling a little bit.
Holy crap, you know, I'm really jet lagged. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the event itself. It's actually a really great atmosphere here with all the games all around, actually. When you go out, you see all the games next to each other. It's not like separated. They're really close. You have all the communities together. It's pretty cool. And, well, Hearthstone Grand Prix is always a ton of fun.
I've got to admit, I'm not actually feeling the jet lag at all at the moment. I think that's partly because I worked to try and adjust to the time zone here even before I traveled. I actually adjusted a few days early, so I was sleeping at weird times back home so that I'd fit right in here. But I'm also just hyped to be here again for the first time. A lot of energy coming in. I'm really excited to get this next game started.
I was going to say, if enthusiasm is equal to adrenaline, then you must be riding high right now and doing just fine. After some technical difficulties, excuse me, that we've had throughout today, we are finally good to go. Made it through a round with no stops, and we are about to get into round number 4. And it is going to be on main match, Chakki versus Amnesiac. We saw both of them get wins in the previous round on stream. Both, I believe, Chakki was a 3-1. Amnesiac was a 3-0 victory over Ray C with his Pirate Warrior, and Chakki did work with the Paladin.
It'll be great to see Amnesiac play something that's not Pirate Warrior, because that was a devastatingly fast sweep from him. And again, Chakki, he did actually lose a game, but from what we saw, he only played the Paladin. So we're going to hopefully see a bit of a closer game coming up now.
I'm really excited just to see those two guys here, because they're exceptional players, first of all. Although, let's say they're kind of recognized in the community as memers, right?
A little bit.
Both of them? They've both got strong personalities.
Yes, we can say that. But at the same time, I remember last year in Austin, actually, Chakki, I think that was like his first big break when it comes to an actual performance, when everyone was like, oh, all right, well, this guy is really legit, right? And that was actually fantastic to see from Chakki. And from that point, I feel like he got really seriously into Hearthstone, like when it comes to like performing.
We did just see Shoop, the current reigning American DreamHack champion, lose in round 3 of the Swiss. Chakki might be coming in to claim his title back.
It's been a bit of a rough day for DreamHack champions thus far, but both Chakki and Amnesiac are incredibly respected names when it comes to Hearthstone. Let's go ahead and check out our picks and bans for our upcoming match, because it is going to be a good one. Now, of course, we did see both of these guys on stream earlier. Here's Chakki once again with the Druid, Priest, and Mage. This time, the ever-popular Paladin has been banned, and Amnesiac with the Shaman, Warrior, Priest, also with the Paladin banned. So I think this is all of these players really adapting to what their ban strategy should be. We've seen some Priests get banned. I don't think a lot of people expected to see Priest. And now we're seeing Paladin get banned after Paladin has been sweeping people left and right.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it just at the end of the previous round of the Swiss. There doesn't seem to be a consistent plan here going on. There's no... At first, it looked like it was going to be Shaman banned all day. Now it's the Paladin. We've seen a Priest banned, although I think that was a special case with Ray C because he was 6-0 with the deck already, and Amnesiac obviously knew that. I'm not surprised ever to see Paladin being the deck that's banned, because they can go heavy aggro or N'Zoth. It's very hard to counter it in the same way that it's hard to counter Druid that can also be aggro or Jade. I imagine, I'm saying something that's very, very wide here, but I imagine Druid, Shaman, and Paladin will be the top bans today, though I did just name 3 classes. So.
Well, they were like top bans for quite a while, I would say, when it comes to like the bans itself for the previous Grand Prix that we had past month or so, right? But in general, yes, I agree definitely that in the past we had definitely way more focused bans. We knew when we were coming in the tournament, like, that's definitely a ban on this class, that's definitely a ban on this class. In the current lineups, there are many ways of actually defeating a specific lineup, so the ban is not that focused on one class. And as you said, it's important to also point out that some classes are more likely to be banned because of the fact that they have multiple ways of actually winning a game? Is it a control, an aggro deck, right? It's hard to estimate it with like exactly a lineup what you're facing, especially in the round 1 of Swiss, when someone can just surprise you, because suddenly the deck that you thought it's a control deck, it's an aggro deck, and you just lose because of that.
Yeah, the deck lists are not open to the public in this tournament. So the players, until they've gone through several rounds and maybe talked to some of the opponents of their current opponent, don't know what their opponents are playing. So a lot of flexible classes lead to some interesting ban strategies, and we'll see if the Paladin bans for Chakki and Amnesiac pay off, because right now we are getting in to round number 4.
All right, well, we are ready to go and start round 4 of the Swiss. I'm still with Lothar. We're ready to go. Priests on both sides once again. What do you expect with Priests nowadays, Lothar?
I don't expect...
You don't expect?
In this match, I didn't expect any Murlocs, because the Paladins are banned. So that's something cool.
Okay.
But when it comes to the Priests, I don't know. To be honest, I didn't expect Priests to be like such a popular class at all in this tournament. So this quite caught me off guard. I think there was a lot of testing like in inner circles to, you know, maintain this like with various players, right? From different regions as well. So it's very interesting.
Well, let's jump in right now and see. Hopefully we'll start to get an idea of what the Priests are doing. And yes, Amnesiac on the Priest and Chakki on the Mage. Now, we haven't seen that much Mage today. Back in round 1 of the Swiss, Lorinda and I cast, I think we had a Secret Mage mirror at some point. Secret Mage being the deck that he pinned as deck of the deck of the tournament. Though since then, we haven't seen that many of them.
Yep. But, wow. I just want to say that Amnesiac seems to be having a curve deck because of the 1-2-3 that he did get.
Look at those tech cards too. Glaka Crawler and Gluttonous Ooze. Of course, we saw Amnesiac sweep with the Pirate Warrior earlier, so obviously he's expecting to be playing against a lot of them too.
Yeah, and this is the second Priest that we actually see with Glaka Crawlers, today at least. The first match that we actually had was sporting that in, that was No, that was actually, who was that?
Job's done.
Anyway, we have already seen the Priest with double Glaka Crawlers, and it's not a surprise now, judging by the way the metagame shapes up. Chakki, though, has an insane opener as well. Manavim, Arcanologist, a Secret, and a Valet is actually pretty wide open hand.
Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3 is fine. Even without the counterspell, it would work out. Manaworm into Arcanologist into whatever secret that grabs. Burgly Bully, again, this is not the first Burgly Bully that we've seen today in a tempo-style mage. I fully expect there to be an Antonidas somewhere in this deck, which means it's not going to be that one-sided this game. Priests tend to be pretty good against mage because Priest of the Feast is a card that just wins the matchup. However, if Chakki can get a big Antonidas out and just generate more and more and more damage, Chakki could have a good chance with the mage.
But still, you are relying on a legendary card that you might just not see for an entire game. So it's either having a really explosive opener and just going under the Priest like as soon as possible. That's one of the strategies for Chakki. And I would say he doesn't have a bad hand to actually do that. Especially with the fact that he can chip in the damage from the small minions in the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's one of the strategies. For Amnesiac, though, there's a lot of decision to be made. Because he can go for the card advantage this turn and just utilize the power of the Cleric if he just attacks into the mana of him and just heals it, or he goes on curve. And I would say that there's a reason why he kept the Glaka Crawler on turn 2.
Right.
In the opening hand, played on turn 2, because he doesn't have enough damage to deal with all the 3 HP minions that the mage is sporting, because there's, of course, the Manavim, of course, the Arcanologist, but also the Medivh's Valet. So whatever is going to get played, if you don't have a Shadow Ward Pain, you can't really kill those minions unless you have 2 sources of damage.
So you just need to tempo out if you're Amnesiac, and he's managed to do a pretty good job there. We don't have an amazing read at exactly what type of Priest deck he's playing right now. We've seen very few tools. We haven't seen any dragons yet or anything. But I've got to point out, Lothar, you said Chakki may not draw Antonidas. It is just one legendary card. Well, there it is. right off the top. Not able to be played just yet, but now Chakki can definitely be forming a game plan here. Coining out the counterspell means the Mana Worm is buffed up enough just to take out the Northshire Cleric straight away.
Important take.
Right. It's going to just straight trade with the Glacacrawler next turn, and okay, it's Dragon Priest.
What can I say about the Antonidas is, you know, it's golden one, so it's actually more likely to draw it from the top.
Okay, is that how it works? Right.
Yes, yes. This is why some people have an entire golden deck and don't benefit from it at all, because then you have all golden cards, you know?
I see.
So only strategical cards needs to be golden ones.
Nobody taught me this about Hearthstone before.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, man. I thought everyone knows that. Well, for Amnesiac, though, it's unfortunate that he lost the Cleric. Now the Mana Worm actually is a 2-for-1, although it did eat the coin, kinda. He still developed a card for 3 mana.
Yeah.
So the Mana Worm didn't actually lose any tempo here. And the fact that there's a counterspell already on the board and Amnesiac has no clue what kind of secret it is actually really big.
Yeah, it was great early game tempo. Now the Medivh's Valet obviously going to make short work of that Glasnost Ooze. The only problem, and I'm not even sure that this is a problem, but the only problem is that Chakki now can't play on curve. He has to float 1 Mana Crystal, but I think with the position that he's ended up in, he just doesn't care too much. Clears away the Glasnost Ooze, chills out, it's got a 2-3 on the board, still got the counterspell up, and Amnesiac can't actually do anything yet. If Amnesiac's going to win this game, it's going to be the long game, much later on. He needs to start getting Draconid Operatives. In the game that you cast with Lorinda, wasn't it a Dragon Priest Mirror with Operatives and Hearthstone card packs everywhere? It's not quite going to be a game like that, but Amnesiac is going to need to rely on Draconid Operative and some of that late game value if he wants to win this.
Definitely, definitely.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Yeah, this guy is kind of like... The first game we actually did cast with Lorinda, I don't want to exaggerate, but I think in the Priest versus Priest matchup, we have seen like 9 Draconid Operatives in general and 7 Elise packs being opened.
That sounds right.
So
you saw a lot of cards that game.
Yeah, the Draconid Operative is an insane card. That's nothing new, but in general.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of the dragon,
yes,
right?
That's a better phrase for this scenario.
It seems like a theme.
Amnesiac's going to have to stop and think about it, though. He's obviously taken a good look at that board. Maybe Fairy Dragon is the pick. Fairy Dragon, often pretty good against Mage. Mage can't ping it down, can't frostbolt it away. It would fit the curve here, so he did stop and think about it, but instead, he does take what I think a lot of people would consider just the obvious pick.
I mean, he needs a dragon for 10-5.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this Draconid Operator that he has in his hand presents no value.
That's true.
And he's running out of steam right now. So any kind of card that will present some form of value in the upcoming turns, and basically every single card from Mage will do that, is worth its weight in gold, which is kind of small because those are digital cards, so...
So they don't weigh much at all, really?
Yeah, actually, I think I read an article that did weigh like the data, you know? Right. So that was like, I think, an entire, you know, like 1 billion of bytes is like 10 grams or something like that.
I mean, I'd just weigh my laptop and say that's how much the cards weigh.
So when you have like the disc full, it weighs more.
Right, okay. Amnesiac. Now, I mean, I wonder what he's going to play this turn. Shadowwood Pain doesn't quite cut it. Death unplayable, no hero power. Does seem like there's only one way to go here.
Even if it's gonna eat a fireball, it's not that horrible. It's off curve. Chakki doesn't really benefit apart from the fact that he chips in 4 damage, which is another strategy, and you get 1 fireball out.
Yeah.
So next turn, again, most likely Draconid Operative, but you need to pick up another Drake.
Yeah.
Another dragon, sorry.
The real question is, what is it that he's specifically searching for? He now knows it's a secret mage, 100%. Kirin Tor Mage does give away the information in the same way that Curious Glimmerroot can give information about what cards your opponent is not running. But Amnesiac snap-picked that Frostbolt there.
As I said, every single mage spell in that deck is value. Even a Frostbolt for 2, actually, not even. Specifically the Frostbolt, which can be squeezed in a lot of turns with another development on the board, is worth gold.
Right.
And it's a golden fire Frostbolt. So.
Right. But honestly, I didn't even see what the third pick was. I saw the Kirin Tor Mage, I saw the Frostbolt, and then it picked it.
The third one... I think it was a secret. I can't remember now.
Just such an easy decision for Amnesiac. Didn't even need the time to work it out. But now, Chakki's picked up Kieran Tormage, which is going to give him a little bit of extra tempo soon. He can play the ice block essentially for free along with the body, but Burgly Bully just seems like such an obvious play here. Amnesiac has no way or no visible way of clearing it. Obviously, it's immune to Shadow Word Pain, Shadow Word Death. It's got 4 attack. There's $1 in the Caster Swear jar there. But
Wow.
Yeah, but Frostbolt obviously is a way of removing it. That said, there's nothing Amnesiac can do to prevent Chakki from picking up at least 1 coin here.
There's the $, the coin.
Coin? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure. No, I have to pay. I said the priest meme. Chakki doesn't have to pay the $.
He gets the $, though.
He does earn the $. Maybe I'm giving him the... Oh, okay. Fireball or Frostbolt, not the easiest decision.
In this case, he went for the Dragon Operator because he wanted to pick up a clear way of just destroying the Burgly Bully next turn.
Sure.
Because it's not important if his opponent just played it this turn if you don't give him the coins, right? So he basically has 1 more turn. If the Burgly Bully will trade down with one of the Dragon Operators, then they still have the Frostbolt, but at least you didn't lose an entire turn, because that would be basically it. If he goes for the Frostbolt this turn, he doesn't develop anything.
Right.
He will lose that Dragon Operative, and he ends up in the same position as that turn before.
Yeah.
Because Chakki will have an entire turn of developing cards on his side of the board. And if there will be 1 Kieran Tormage that will also develop a secret, he lost.
Chakki just going to draw your attention to this for a second. He just picked up Potion of Polymorph. Now, this is the 2nd deck that we've seen today that runs Potion of Polymorph naturally in the deck.
Well, I can tell you one thing.
Yep.
In Swiss tournaments, makes sense.
Right.
Because you will just win games based off random secrets. People will be like, well, I didn't anticipate a Potion of Polymorph, so I played my Tyrion into it, and and I'm dead.
It's something that Vaporize can be very strong at as well. Players forget to play around it, though usually Vaporize is very easy to play around. Amnesiac now is capable of trading away Burgly Bully without giving Chakki a coin. He could then Frostbolt the Kieran Tormage, maybe Shadow Word Pain, one of the Arcanologist. It's quite slow, though. He'd love to be able to play Primordial Drake this turn.
You mean next turn?
Oh, yeah, he'd love to play it this turn, but he can't.
Okay.
So he may have to play it next turn.
Well, he would need a coin.
He would need the coin. He's never had the chance to have a coin, though.
Yeah. And again, we see Amnesiac being the proactive on the board. I like that very much when it comes to the way he's playing the turn before with the Dragon Operative, the book of him right now. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, but unfortunately, he didn't anticipate the Potion of Polymorph.
Right.
He lost a lot of tempo in this case.
I'm trying to remember. I think that it was Muzzy who played the Potion of Polymorph in Series 1 way back at the start of the day. It's just funny that it's so similarly appearing in these decks. You expect Mirror Entity, you don't expect Potion of Polymorph. Both kind of have a similar effect. Mirror Entity, you take your opponent's threat and you match it yourself. Potion of Polymorph, you just dispose of it straight away. Chakki only polymorphed a 3/6 there, not the end of the world for Amnesiac. And I think next turn, Primordial Drake is going to happen, and Amnesiac just done everything he could to prevent Burgly Bully from picking up any coins.
Yep. Bomb Squad. No. Would be ideal in this scenario, right?
4/4 is not that bad for Amnesiac, though. It's only going to end up as a 4/2 after Primordial Drake comes down. I'm speaking as though Primordial Drake's a super obvious play this turn. Do you see anything better?
Not really. I think Amnesiac played it the way he developed the turns before. I think it was meant to be that he will just finish up the Burgly Bully with this Primordial Drake. So not a single coin will be given to Chakki. Because that one fireball from an Antonidas can change the entire game.
Yeah. And given that Amnesiac knows that Chakki burned his first coin on that Mana Worm way back on turn 2, it's kind of starving Chakki entirely of having these cheap spells to proc the Antonidas. Amnesiac will have to read that there's an Antonidas in the deck, even if not in the hand. I don't know if he'll be expecting the Yoxaron.
Well, with Burgly Bully makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's true, that's true. More spells. Then again, Yogg-Saron doesn't necessarily get stronger the more spells you've cast anymore. Ever since the nerf, there is a hard limit to when Yogg-Saron stops, and that's when it dies. Or gets bounced, or gets transformed.
If it gets bounced, like if you get advantage, like, well, I guess I'm gonna play it around again.
Yeah, that's true.
This time I'll find lethal.
Yeah, if it just clears your opponent's board and vanishes, fine.
Just close your eyes and you just slam.
If it draws you some cards and Shadow Step, that's probably fine too.
You go like a crawler in an auto deck.
Not so hot in this matchup, but it's appearing everywhere today.
Yep.
Pirates.
Miracle Priest. Miracle Rogue.
Right.
Plays Pirates.
Right.
Pirate Warrior. Oh. Plays Pirates.
Does that take play? I didn't know that took play Pirates.
Now you know.
Yeah.
What else plays Pirates?
Evolved Shaman plays Pirates. Acro
yeah.
Druid plays Pirates. They're everywhere.
4 decks that are very powerful, and they all play Pirates. So Galactic Crawler seems like a really decent option right now.
Yeah. Even UK Paladin plays Pirates.
The fact that we have a deck named UK Paladin really makes me laugh. It's like the only way UK remains relevant on the scene.
Oh, shots fired by Lothar to his UK co-caster.
Although we did see Ben and DreamHack Valencia doing well.
Yeah, yeah. So Twilight Drake plus Frostbolt is a possibility this turn. Obviously, Chakki just played that secret. Amnesiac may feel the need to play around it a little bit. I believe it's an Ice Block, as there was an Ice Block sitting in Chakki's hand a little bit earlier, so there's nothing else it can be.
And he already played a counter spell and a potion of polymorph.
Right. Mixing it up. Why not?
Can't wait to see new cards from the new expansion, man. Hopefully more secrets and more ways of bluffing your opponent.
The mind games are getting real at the moment. If there are more secrets or more secret manipulation cards, the mind games could only get even more real. Very excited for the next reveal, which I think is very soon. 25th?
Well, I can tell you that I have my own reveal on 26th.
Oh,
Yep.
Nice. Meanwhile, Chakki has an extra fireball that he would love to reveal to his opponent right now.
Ha!
12 damage. It's not quite enough. 15 with the Frostbolt next turn.
The one problem is that you can't really rely on just burning your opponent down.
No.
When he can just slam Priest of the Feast and go, well, I guess I'll exchange every single of my card into a flash heal.
Yeah. Although Chakki gonna kind of half go for it. He plays the Antonidas, plays the Frostbolt. He's now got 3 fireballs. 3 fireballs is 18 damage over 2 turns. Amnesiac can heal twice, but Chakki can fit 2 pings in as well. So it actually works out as 2 turn exact lethal from Chakki, unless Amnesiac does pick up Priest of the Feast, as you said. Binding Heal is another possibility that some priests are running at the moment. I doubt we'll see a greater healing potion, unless Lyra comes down and generates one.
Uh-huh. And a Song Stealer, by the way. Not a card that we see in every single deck.
Do you know, silence seems to be the mechanic of the day, Lothar. We've seen it do some work in a lot of the Pirate Warrior games. We've seen it do some work in Jade Druid. We've seen a lot of Spellbreakers. So Cabal Song Stealer appearing doesn't surprise me too much.
I mean, it's the best silence minion in the game right now.
Right.
It has the best stats for the effect, so definitely a powerful card, but it's unplayable in Priest, so that's the downside.
Yeah.
But it's great against Paladins, actually, because it just plays around Param so well.
And Amnesiac just going to play here for tempo. He's realized that Chakki obviously has a lot of damage. There's no other reason he'd have made that play. Antonidas just Frostbolt face.
Yeah,
Amnesiac realizes he's on the clock. He needs to win this game himself as fast as possible. But I think from Chakki now, we're just going to see double Fireball Ping to set up for the Fireball Ping lethal next turn.
It's really amazing to see great players recognize when they have to switch the gear. And Amnesiac is great at that. He actually did those switches already like a few turns ago, and he's still consistent with the game plan, and that's something that is very important in Hearthstone, to know when to be the beatdown, when to be defensive, when to control the board, when to go for the damage, and it's one of the most key thing in Hearthstone when it comes to increasing your win rate.
It is. In a way, it's very basic. But in another way, it's very, very complicated. It's very next level, especially when you're in the position, as you were saying, where you kind of have to switch. You have to play as the defensive until turn 8, for example, and then switch and start burning your opponent's face. And that's what Chakki's done here. Gonna go with a double fireball ping because it does set up the guaranteed lethal next turn if the only healing Amnesiac has is his hero power. Amnesiac goes back up to 7, but then fireball ping would finish him off. Amnesiac picks up Primordial Drake. That's not good enough.
That isn't good enough. And even if you would pick up a Dragon and Operative, there was no second Dragon to get an example nice block.
Right.
So the third fireball was set up Amnesiac on fire.
I told you he was excited to reveal these fireballs.
Well, good job, Chakki. You burned him down. Amnesiac without a single spell to heal up from that crucial 18. As you said, Titan set up lethal for Chakki.
Now, a lot of people would say that Priest is pretty favored against Mage because of the Priest of the Feast you mentioned. If you just keep one in your mulligan, wait until an Alexstrasza or a bunch of damage comes down and then play a Power Word Shield, heal back up, the Priest just wins. But unfortunately for Amnesiac, I mean, are these, hang on.
Hey, he almost hit me.
This is getting a bit violent here. These players are throwing things at each other. I think someone needs to go and calm them down. Hearthstone is not a contact sport, guys. Let's keep it friendly. As, yeah, Amnesiac didn't draw a Priest of the Feast. I assume he runs them in his deck if the card is just too bonkers strong to not run.
It has decent stats, even like without the effect.
Yeah, 4 mana 3/6, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not great if you don't draw it. Chakki was able to draw his Antonidas, though.
Kind of sad that the Priest is already dead, but Chakki has a Priest of its own, so if he manages to lose 1 or 2 games, probably we'll see it.
I'm just shocked to have seen Amnesiac lose a game after his blistering sweep with the Pirate Warrior earlier. Didn't look like it was going to happen, but...
Well, obviously it happened because he didn't play the Pirate Warrior.
Does that mean Pirate Warrior is coming up next? How do you... but how do you contest the Mage? It is a Secret Mage. Secret Mages don't usually run Alexstrasza, which means Pirate Warrior may have a better chance. No defensive Alexstrazas are going to put a stop to Amnesiac's plans. Though, Secret Mages also don't run many board clears. So if this is a token Shaman, Amnesiac may decide to go with that.
Well, he's not really in a great position, to be fair.
Right. Well, you're never in a great position when you lose round 1 in a last hero standing series. He has to counter queue, but then Chakki gets to counter queue him.
And then you will see who has a good lineup, who was prepared enough to have a counter queue every single time.
Yeah.
And it seems like Amnesiac is going for the Shaman.
Yeah, makes sense.
The Galactic Crawlers might have some food here.
They might do, though Amnesiac knowingly shuffling away the Blood Cell Corsair. He's expecting Chakki to keep the Galactic Crawler. He did see it last game, right?
Yes, well, wait, I think he actually didn't.
Huh.
But he anticipates it, like 100%, right? Amnesiac knows Chakki really well. I'm assuming that he knows the deck as well, so...
These guys were just throwing things at each other. Obviously, they're friends. They're either friends or we need to call security.
I'm actually surprised that Amnesiac didn't pick up the patches on draw 1, because that's the thing. When you mulligan away a pirate,
Pirates get mad at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Patches wants to come out one way or another.
I mean, he's in charge, so he needs to get there.
I think Patches is the embodiment of Ben Brode. The Hearthstone card of Ben Brode, rather. In charge. Want to hear a Patches rap at some point?
Patchwork. A good board game, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's very good. I love playing it.
So Chakki is going to want to get the tempo out with Kirin Mage as early as possible, which means he may want to save that coin past turn 1 and then turn 2, coin out Kirin Mage, but no, he decides he just can't afford to wait against the Shaman.
Well, that's a lot of investment when it comes to like the...
Oh, the punish from Amnesiac there.
The upside of having a Galactic Crawler is huge, but at the same time, you know that your opponent is actually having on 3 pirates in his deck.
turns out those pirates weren't too mad at Amnesiac after all. They just decided to come out exactly when he needed them. Next turn, going to be some fiery elementals and some pirates hitting the board, it looks like.
Second Golaka Crawl. No.
All Chakki can do here.
What did I tell you about Golden and Tinnitus?
I mean, I don't know, Lothar. You sent me mixed messages. First, you told me he'd never draw it, and then you told me he'd draw it every time.
Because I didn't know.
Okay, that's fair.
It was golden.
That's fair.
I was explaining you last time. I think you didn't listen to me.
I mean, the rest of the cards in his hand are golden, too.
Look at that. What?
Wow. Pirates really are on Amnesiac's side today.
Yeah.
The chance of him picking up both of them and not getting patches, pretty slim.
Potion of Polymorph in this matchup will not do much. Unless you time it against Aya.
Or Doppelgangster. If it hits a Doppelgangster... wait, does it get the...
No, it only gets the one.
Okay. Of course.
The battle cry still goes up.
Well, you do know your opponent of 1/6 drop anyway.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so if it hits higher, that's huge.
I mean, it's not about the tempo loss here, because most likely you will not lose any tempo, but the card disadvantage that you will get. It's not really that great. That's the thing. We don't have that many Death Rattle minions to benefit from the Potion of Polymorph so much. I mean, basically the ideal scenario when you want to play Potion of Polymorph is either your opponent has big minions that will just get downsized, or your opponent has really powerful Death Rattle effects that it will nullify because of that. Currently, the metagame says Battle Cry on most of the minions.
Yes. I wonder if it's something that Amnesiac will have considered when he decided to queue the Shaman, whether he was playing around Potion of Polymorph. Obviously, his Pirate Warrior has a lot of low-drop minions too, but it also has Bittertide Hydra, which if that's eaten up by a Potion of Polymorph, that can be a pain.
Yeah. But look at that. Now, Amnesiac is thinking, wait, it might be a counter spell, and it might be an Ice Book, and it might be a Potion of Polymorph. So if I play against Potion of Polymorph, I'm going to go for the small minion because I want to play the Flame Tongue this turn to trade up with the current mate.
This is the way of playing around everything. You stick the Firefly on the board, you then put Flame Tongue Totem down, do what Shaman do best. Clear the board, smack a lot of damage to the face. Flame Tongue Totem is just such a strong card in Hearthstone.
Although I would say that probably was better to play the Pirate this turn. Okay. You play around, if it's Potion of Polymorph, then you play around the second Golaka Crawler.
Okay, sure.
And if it's not...
There's no Beast-Eating Crab just yet. There's no Hemet, original Hemet anymore.
Kind of sad that we don't have the original Hemet nowadays.
It would be so good against sheep in this meta. So Cabal Crystal Runner feels kind of sad to play at 4 mana. It's still a 4 mana 5/5. It's good tempo, but it's not as good as a 0 mana 5/5. It's not as good as a 2 mana 5/5. And there's still a full board for Amnesiac.
I really like what Amnesiac did the turn before. He could have just played Flame Tongue Totem.
Yeah.
But what he did is he presented a threat that is a Bloodlust. Not only Flame Tongue Totem, but also Bloodlust.
Yeah.
Basically, he increased the odds of his opponent misplaying because of the way he built up the board against both cards and not just one.
He also knows this deck is going to be lacking board clears, so yeah, just continuing to go as wide as possible. He's definitely threatening the Bloodlust, as you said. And unless Chakki gets something like a Flame Striker or a Blizzard or a Volcanic Potion off of Primordial Glyph, he's just not going to be able to clear this board.
Where's the glyph when you need it?
That's
2 Frost Balls. Those are not the glyphs that you're looking for.
So pinging away a sheep seems like a pretty good start. I guess you Frostball a 2/2 out of desperation.
Yep, it seems like it. I mean, your hand looks cluttered.
It's 29 damage right now with Bloodlust.
So this works like in Final Fantasy, right? If you have only 7s, you deal the maximum damage, right?
Sure.
Okay. Did you play Final Fantasy 7 actually?
I didn't play Final Fantasy 7.
Okay, never mind.
I'm too young. I missed that one. I will play the remaster.
It's not the same.
Okay.
Especially if they will change the combat system.
So Frostbolting away the 2/2 reduces 5 damage, which is still lethal with Bloodlust. Pinging away the sheep will prevent the lethal with Bloodlust.
I mean, it's more about being effective with your mana usage this turn. Because you know that turn 6 basically will be probably Frostbolt then Ping again.
Yep. There just weren't many options that turn, unfortunately, for Chakki. Now Aya can come down from Amnesiac. He can just stick to his game plan of dealing as much damage and going as wide as he possibly can. Flame Tongue Totem, after all of that, after us talking about how good the card is, just wasn't necessary after all.
And I really like how Amnesiac is playing this. He's just making a threat every single turn.
Yep.
Gets in the chip damage, which makes it very uncomfortable for Chakki. And even if the worst will happen, he still has the Flame Tongue, which will just transform every single of the hero power into an actual threat.
But if I was Chakki in this position, I would be convinced that that Flame Tongue Totem is not a brawl. They don't run brawl. Is a bloodlust.
I'm not so sure.
No.
Probably the bloodlust would have already been played, because in most situations you don't want to risk.
Yeah, that's true.
When your opponent has a counter spell in his deck, right? So you want to squeeze in the damage as soon as possible.
Well,
but
it's just lethal if Amnesiac plays the Maelstrom portal.
And of course he will play it first.
Yeah, because he's pretty good at Hearthstone.
I mean, you know your opponent is playing a Potion of Polymorph and a counter spell, and already have seen the counter spell. He played really well. Sorry, he already had seen the Potion of Polymorph, and he already played well against it by playing a minion with the battle cry first, see the outcome, is it counter spell or not. That sets up another play from his side, because he can choose how to develop the board. So really well played by Amnesiac. Aggressive Shaman. I like how he played. Like getting those small pesky minions in face of the mage. All of them, almost all of them, had 2 HP, so they can't really be dealt with the hero power so easily.
Yep.
Makes a big difference.
Now, I have to admit, I haven't seen the stats page recently with everything that's been going on today, but when I did last check it, Shaman was listed as the class with the highest win rate at something like 68%. So not at all surprising to see the deck continue to pick up wins, but now we are going to see Chakki's Priest. It's also Dragon Priest. So, in conclusion to the question, which is the best Priest deck, or which Priest deck do we expect at the moment? It does seem to be Dragon Priest from everyone.
Seems like it. Definitely seems like
it. It's the version of Priest which benefits the most from the Quest Rogue nerf. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, the Quest Rogue, if they play correctly, can just complete the quest and then hold on to all the charge minions, hold on to the Shadow Steps, and just deal 30 damage in one turn. There's rarely any need to play into Dragonfire Potion. Now the deck's gone, Dragon Priest can truly flourish and do some work. And Dragon Priest is not bad against Jade Druid either. We'll have to see here if Chakki can beat this aggro Shaman with it. He obviously thinks he does. It's the deck he decided to queue up.
Well, I can tell you some stats from the game so far.
Ah, you got it, right.
Yeah. Shaman has 55% win rate so far.
So it's gone down a little bit since round 2.
Yeah, 300 games reported, 55%. Paladin has 51, Warrior 46, the Druid 49, Mage 51, Rogue 53.
Okay.
From 98 games reported, Priest 47.
Yeah, but how many games reported?
88.
Not even that many then.
Hunter 39, 18 games reported.
Go on then, hit me with Warlock.
Well, I actually increased the win rate from the last time I checked.
Okay.
It's 29% now, 7 games reported.
Yeah, it was 20% when I last saw.
Yeah.
So 1 win out of 5 games. Yeah. All right, well, back to the game at hand here. Chakki, he's got 2 Nether Spy Historians. He's going to stop and pause and give the impression that he has multiple options, but eventually Nether Spy Historian comes down. Is he going to snap pick an operative?
I think it's not that easy this time. No, never mind. He is thinking about the Fairy Dragon this time, though.
Yep. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Usually the right choice.
He has the early game with those Historians. So basically having additional operative to get a card from your opponent's deck, which might be a very good answer to his own deck, seems very beneficial. I'm thinking here Maelstrom Portal. I'm thinking here Jade Claws. I'm thinking here... well, those are actually like the best, I think.
Right, yeah. I mean, against a Shaman, the most important tools for the Dragon Priest are, well, the board clears. It's always the board clears against the Shaman deck. So it's Primordial Drake and it's Dragonfire Potion. Dragonfire Potion is the one that really you want to save for a Doppelgangster Evolve turn. Because a lot of the time, these 6-mana minions have 5 health.
I don't know, man. Every single time I see a Trafficker there.
Every single time?
Yeah, it's like whenever I'm watching a game or casting a game and someone gets Doppelgangster Evolve, there's a Trafficker.
Well, that's definitely one of the high rolls that you can get from the Evolve.
It seems like one of the best.
Sunwalker, not bad either. It's pretty strong against Dragonfire Potion if the Priest has nothing to bump into at first.
All right, Primal Fin Totem, another objective on Amnesiac's side that needs to get destroyed as soon as possible, because otherwise it will just go out of control, which is nothing new when it comes to Murlocs, right?
Right. Murlocs, not quite going to go out of control in the same way that we see the Paladins. We've seen some 1-mana 8/8s or 8/3s earlier on. Not quite going to see that in this game, but while that Primal Fin Totem lives, those Murlocs are going to keep coming with their little wooden sticks. Quite cute in a disgusting way.
Yeah, okay.
Do you disagree? Not quite alley cat cute, but
well, Chakki has now a really difficult decision to make. I was thinking like maybe he should dig for more cards to just get to that Dragonfire Potion as soon as possible, but he can actually lose the game before he even gets to turn 6.
Right.
So going wide with the board, even though the minions are not that big, and if it actually benefits Chakki a little bit more because he soaks in the damage. The only problem that can meet him right now on those crossroads is the Flametongue Totem. A single Flametongue Totem will just spiral out of control, like 100% this time.
Ironically, in the last game, Amnesiac never got the chance to play his Flametongue Totem, which he had the whole time. This time, Amnesiac wants the Flametongue Totem, and it's just not present in his hand. So he's going to have to find the cleanest way of dealing with this stuff. Northshire Cleric needs to go. He can't afford for Chakki to start drawing cards. Does that mean Patches has to come out?
Huh.
I think it does.
Does it? Stolen Defender doesn't seem to be that bad as well. You know that your opponent doesn't have Shadow Wall Pain,
right? And
it's still far away from the Bookworm. So basically just give your opponent 1 card, but you develop more Murlocs, and the other minions will most likely not die.
I mean, the way I was looking at it is that you need to prevent the Dragon Priest from drawing too many of the tools. You want to try and stop the Dragon Priest from ever getting to Dragonfire Potion if you can help it. So I think Amnesiac felt that he needed to get rid of that Northshire Cleric. And now he's once again in this position. The thing that Token Shaman is very, very good at doing, and that's saying, hey, guess what? I probably have Brawl. You need to do something about that.
Turn 3, and he has an entire board.
Yeah, obviously he can't play the Brawl just yet, so Chakki's got time to clear it, but he doesn't actually have a way of clearing either of these Primal Fin Totems.
Still, the Elemental's gonna get mixed. Ooh.
Okay, what were we saying about Flametongue Totem just a moment ago?
Oh, damn.
Stick it right in between the Murloc and the Bloodcell Corsair, trade them both into Twilight Drake, trade both totems into the Nethersmite Historians. You just value trade them, they survive. You're looking Gucci.
And you still develop the Murlocs. Man, that is so annoying.
It's a crazy, crazy strong play. Just keeping the Priest off of the board, and now actually setting up Bloodlust to do a devastating amount of damage.
5 minions on board right now, so if he saves the Murloc, he will have a full board for the next turn.
Yep.
It's gonna be turn 5, so if top decks a Bloodlust, he will have the full 21 damage.
It's 28 damage with Bloodlust right now.
Exactly. This is why he didn't trade the 1 Murloc.
It's crazy.
And he knows that Chakki is like 1 turn before he can do anything really important. Read Dragonfire Potion.
Chakki can't do literally anything about it right now. He can put a 5-drop on the board. That's it. Yep. He can heal. That's actually a really good point, because Chakki, he's counted the damage. He knows there's 28 with Bloodlust. If he wants to play around it, he actually has to heal up this turn so that he's not dead. If he's healing up this turn, he's not doing anything else.
If he would like to heal up, he needs the Dragonfire Potion. And he doesn't have it in his hand.
Right.
So maybe in some war there's actually, even if you have the Dragonfire Potion, I think there's a small chance he will do it. But if he wants to win the game, I just feel like he needs to drop the Operative and just feel, you know, and just count on his opponent not having the Bloodlust. There's no other way of winning the game.
I agree. Amnesiac could draw it next turn, but it's one of those situations where Chakki has to think to himself, I just pretend the card doesn't exist. I don't win if he has Bloodlust.
Yep.
Chakki would have liked to see a Bloodlust pop up from that Operative because that would have meant at least one Bloodlust is sitting in Amnesiac's deck somewhere. But gets the Maelstrom Portal, which will be helpful for Chakki.
Oh, definitely.
Not quite as helpful as Dragonfire Potion, but actually clearing away 3 Murlocs, it's a pretty good start.
Depends what Amnesiac will do this turn. Because the Flamethrower Totem is not in an ideal position.
Yeah.
All those Murlocs on the right-hand side are not able to get the benefit from it. So in this situation, if you want to clear up the Dragon and Operative, he probably needs to use the Jade Lightning and trade the 3/1 Murloc into. But then he doesn't develop another Murloc from the Primal Fin Totem. So he needs to sacrifice another Primal Fin Totem to get, like, you know, the ideal scenario here, but then you decrease your amount of value to generate. It's really a tricky situation.
It's a very complicated turn because you're right. You either overfill the board or can't generate enough. There's no way of, or no easy way of filling it up perfectly, but Amnesiac found the line. He's still not getting the value from the Primal Fin Totem, unfortunately, but he's easily set up lethal if he had the Bloodlust.
This turn was actually fantastically played by Amnesiac.
Yeah.
It's insane that he recognizes the way that the game can fall apart for him. Because what would happen if there's a Maelstrom Portal in your opponent's hand, right? Your entire board gets wrecked, and you don't start the turn with entire board of minions to benefit from the Flamethrower Totems, nor the top deck Bloodlust. What he does right now is he plays the minions that have the most health, so he plays around the Maelstrom Portal, and he only plays into a Dragonfire Potion, which is a 2-off in his opponent's deck. And judging by the way Chakki did play this game so far, he might just count on not having it in the hand. So really well played by Amnesiac.
Right. Second Jade Lightning picked up there. It's still not a Bloodlust. Obviously, Chakki knows there wasn't a Bloodlust earlier because Amnesiac would have just won the game with it. So that is the silver lining there. He knows that Amnesiac doesn't just win unless there's a top deck. Jade Lightning, double trade away the 1-drops. Primal Fin Totem spits that on the Murloc. Amnesiac keeps a full board that way. So I think that's probably the way to go. Jade Lightning, double trade the 1-drops. Yeah. And he can stick 5 damage to face, put the Jade Claws into the face if he wants to. Amnesiac's just not letting up this board, though he is now in a similar position to Chakki. Whereas Chakki is hoping Amnesiac just never gets the Bloodlust, Amnesiac is hoping Chakki never gets the Dragonfire Potion.
All right, well, let's see what Chakki will pick up from the top of the deck. This is getting really out of hand for him. Oh, man. Well,
didn't need it. Just didn't need it. He already had one.
Yeah. Still, the Maelstrom Portal can clear 2 minions.
Great.
Which is not bad. The Shadow Ward Death has to be used this turn. It's too much damage coming out of the thing from below. So the 2 options. You either develop a Twilight Drake and the Shadow Ward Death, or you go for the Maelstrom Portal, kill 2 minions, develop a 1-drop that is most likely getting hit by the weapon, so will eat some damage as well, and you get to squeeze in a hero power this turn.
Honestly, I think Chakki just has to pretend the Bloodlust doesn't exist this game. He never wins if it happens. That's a good 1-drop.
That's a fantastic 1-drop.
Particularly good when Chakki is kind of a little bit concerned about his health total.
Oh yeah, this is amazing actually.
Amnesiac, though.
Worth 4 mana, when you think about it.
Yeah. Heal for 4, get a 2/2. Awesome. Amnesiac not struggling at all with his turn, though. He got to fit in the Stonehill Defender, and he can play Jade Lightning if he wants to. He can start really pushing this damage to the face. Instead, he goes for the value play, hoping to get something a little bit beefier than Hot Spring Guardian.
There's the Alak here. That's beefing off, and Thing from Below.
Yeah, both of those are reasonable picks. I don't see why he'd ever pick the second Hot Spring Guardian here, but Alak here is just 6 burst damage. Thing from Below is... It's got to be a 0 mana 5/5 at this point.
Thing from Below has the benefits of the synergy with the Evolve.
Yep.
While
That's one.
Alak here is just a burst, right? And the Thing from Below can be played this turn, which is also a big deal.
I am surprised to see the Thing from Below this turn. Chakki's now at turn 8. It means that Shadow Visions into Dragonfire Potion is a possibility. And if Amnesiac does get... There it is. If Amnesiac does get Dragonfire Potion this turn, which he will, he loses everything. He hasn't saved any resources in his hand. He has 1 Jade Lightning and 1 Hot Spring Guardian, and that's it.
So the Twitch chat is 100% saying now top decked and vacked and stuff like that. But when you think about it, it's turn 8.
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised to an extent that Amnesiac didn't play around that, but then also the fact that Chakki didn't play it until now, it means he didn't already have it, which means it was only that top deck that he lost that board to.
Yeah, but it was going to be more and more probable to get that Dragonfire Potion. And as you explained, Shadow Vision is a big deal.
Very important on turn 8. Shadow Vision plus Dragonfire Potion is 8 mana, and look at that Primordial Drake coming off the top as well. Chakki getting these cards in the exact order he needs them. Gonna just clear away these Fireflies, the Totem.
And that's pretty easy. Now this is just another kick in the butt for Amnesiac. So it's like, you overextended, well, too bad. You get wrecked by the potion. Oh, you overextended again. Well, you had to, because your entire board just got destroyed. Oh, let me just get that dragon in there.
Wouldn't that Sea Giant have been handy 5 turns ago? Imagine if it was on the board when Dragonfire Potion happened. It would have just survived.
Yeah.
Smacked Chakki in the face.
Still not a big deal, because Chakki's at 24.
Oh, and he had the Shadow of Death as well.
So it's not that big of a deal, but still would have some damage in for Amnesiac, so that's important.
Okay, easy turn for Chakki here. He can start with the Dragon Operative, see what he gets, and then later on play Shadow of Death. Devolve must be tempting. Unfortunately, if Doppelgangster Evolve happens, he can't devolve them back into Doppelgangsters. It doesn't quite work that way.
You can.
You can. It's not very likely.
I would like to see, you know, that devolve happen.
Yeah.
Actually into 3 Doppelgangsters.
Yeah.
That's like 10,000 upvotes on Reddit in 1 hour.
Of course, in 5 minutes, actually.
What? That was the Bloodlust, a little bit too late.
So frustrating for Amnesiac. He sees it, he concedes, quite rightly so. His card's not quite coming in the right order. He played it very, very well. He made sure he constantly had 7 minions on the board, but it wasn't quite enough. And Chakki gonna take his second game of the series. Looking for that 3-1 finish coming up in just a moment. Amnesiac only has Pirate Warrior left, and though we have seen him sweep with Pirate Warrior today.
Yeah, we did. There's a saying that it definitely doesn't apply to Bloodlust. Better late than never.
Well, yeah.
It's one of those cards like Savage Roar, basically. That's, you know what? It would be fantastic if it appeared just 2 turns before.
Well, at least with Savage Roar, you can deal 2 damage with your face.
Yeah.
With Bloodlust, if you got no minions, you can't do anything.
I'm really happy that we don't have the old Force of Nature Savage Roar combo.
There is a Shadow Word Horror in Chakki's Dragon Priest. What is going on here?
Well, it makes sense if you play against Shamans all day and Druids.
It's true. It explains the Paladin ban. Because Paladin, their Murlocs often buff each other, so they've got more than 2 attack. Shadow Word Horror, much better against the decks that you just listed. Now, Sequenox, who plays for Singapore in the Hearthstone Global Games, talked to us about Horror Priest before. It was a deck he'd invented. It wasn't a Dragon Priest. It was a deck with double Pint-Sized Potion, double Shadow Word Horror, and he believed that these cards were pretty good. Obviously, Chakki believes that Shadow Word Horror is good enough to squeeze into his already pretty full Dragon Priest deck. see how this fares against the Pirate Warrior.
All those decks are like, you know, that like the Horror Priest that rely on a synergy between cards that have to be comboed with, have the common problem.
Right.
Inconsistency when it comes to the draws. And that is being punished by aggro decks.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just gonna, you know, sweep those aggro decks because that's the way your deck will be built. But other game, you're gonna just lose because your hand does nothing because you'll just draw combo pieces that are not fitting in.
So with Priest nowadays, it's not quite as big a problem because Shadow Visions exists. The Priest is able to mitigate the lack of consistency. This is the reason that the Divine Spirit and Inner Fire have become such a prominent combo now, because they used to be really inconsistent, but now they're a little bit more so.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that the Shadow Vision doesn't deduct 2 mana from the spell, right?
If you're comparing it directly to Primordial Glyph, then yeah, that's a good point. Then again, all spells cost 2 less if you've got double Radiant Elemental on the board, so you got to look at it that way.
Need double Radiant Elementals. That doesn't happen that often.
True, but when it does, Lyra is a happy girl. Huh.
Well, those are really awkward. In this case, like picking Shadow Vision to Shadow Vision is awful in most decks.
What do you think that Chakki's hoping for? He'll know this is a Pirate Warrior again. It was highlighted on the stream earlier, and Amnesiac 3-0'd with it. I imagine it's no secret.
Well, he was hoping for either Shadow Word Pain or Shadow Word Death, I would say. Those are the biggest tools against the Pirate Warrior, because most of the minions have either 3 or less or 5 or more. Even if a Floating Berserker gonna get played at some point, it will get to 5.
Yep.
So the Shadow Word Death still has its application here.
I imagine, I've got a feeling, Lothar, I've got a feeling we might see a 2-2 Patches who thinks he's very much in charge hitting the board this turn. Unless Amnesiac wants to play around Shadow Word Pain, in which case he may decide to drop Bloodcell Raider first and then play the South Sea Captain afterwards. No, all right, 2-2 Pirates in charge.
I think mana efficiency and the +1 damage actually wins here every single time.
I agree.
Because also gets you a lot of information if your opponent has the Shadow Word Pain in hand or the Golakka Crawler.
Well, there is that. There is that. Chakki has all of the tools he could possibly want to deal with a board of Pirates. Potion of Madness could do some damage soon as well. This is going to be a rough game for Amnesiac.
Usually I'm a fan actually of keeping the Golakka Crawler in hand for as many turns as possible.
Right.
For some decks, it's actually beneficial because you don't have so many answers to 4 HP Pirates or 3 HP Pirates. So you usually you use the Golakka Crawler to kill those minions. In Priest, though, you have the possibility of even using the forward shield. So this is actually insane when you think about it.
And that's what made that decision for him. I agree with you. The fact that he could Shadow Word Pain will have made it tempting to go that route. But the fact that Golakka Crawler into Powered Shield, when you've got a second Powered Shield ready to go as well,
yeah, it's pretty insane.
It's just too much of an opportunity. And now Amnesiac needs to try and develop a board full of Pirates, while Chakki is constantly hitting his minions with a 3-6.
Yep.
That's not going to be easy.
A saving grace for Amnesiac would be having a weapon that gets upgraded every single turn, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
So here we go. Spellbreaker gets down, gets some value out of the silence. So that's pretty neat. Without the silence, I would say that it's almost GG.
Yeah, I mean, silence, again, we're seeing it do a lot of work. Spellbreaker seems to be MVP of the day. It's definitely helped Amnesiac out a lot already, helping him out now too. There is another Powered Shield that Chakki can use on this Golakka Crawler if he wants to. But that Spellbreaker is actually, ironically, impossible for Chakki to clear here.
Many people can actually think, why did Amnesiac sacrifice the patches here, right? It makes no sense. But it makes sense because you play around a second Golakka Crawler and you play around the Potion of Madness.
Exactly. Potion of Madness there would have been... I don't think Golakka Crawler would have been the end of the world if it was played, because then it's not being played to eat up a Naga Corsair or something bigger later. But playing around Potion of Madness is one of these things that we see the top players do. He doesn't need the patches that much, but he does need the Spellbreaker. A Potion of Madness would have allowed Chakki to deal with the Spellbreaker, had Amnesiac not made that trade. So definitely the right call there. Unfortunately, now he's used his silence. Amnesiac has no way of easily killing these Twilight Drakes. And there's the second Galactic Crawler, right as the Naga Corsair comes down. Oh boy.
Wow.
Amnesiac is not going to be too happy
About that.
No.
At all.
Yeah. I think maybe we should keep our distance from him a little while after this game. Looks like it's not going to end too well.
I mean, there's a reason why those decks are running 2 Galactic Crawlers, right? So
Right.
you can't be mad about that. It's
Oh, I think you can. I think you can be mad.
that is so sick. It's incredible. And it's the difference between Shadow Ward Death and a Galactic Crawler here, right? The Shadow Ward Death costs 1 more, and you don't develop a minion on the board.
That's a pretty dramatic difference. You're also summoning a Totem Golem without the overloads, as well as killing your opponent's minion. It's just mad. Man.
Here's the smile from Amnesiac. It's like, oh man, this is not getting easier at all.
This game is not getting any better for him at all. What Amnesiac needs to win this now is he needs to pick up Arcanite Reaper right now. He needs Arcanite Reaper into upgrade, which he's got already. He's got more pirates that he can play that benefit from a bigger weapon. He's got double heroic strike. He could get there, but he doesn't have long. And Primordial Drake, come turn 8, is going to cause Amnesiac a whole extra problem.
So how much damage does he have right now? It's 4 damage from the weapon, 1 from the Zoth mate. That's 5, 9, 13 with those heroic strikes. So that's not even close to killing your opponent. If you count the damage from the upgrade, that's actually plus 5. So that's 19. That's still not close enough. So still need damage in the upcoming turns to even think about winning the game. So I like this play. Deals the maximum damage this turn, and hopefully he will get a Fear War Axe or an Arcanite Reaper next turn, as you said, to have a chance to win.
If Amnesiac does win this game, after 2 perfect Galactic Crawlers, well, that's going to be a story to tell.
Well, the gates are closing. The gates are closing because on turn 7, so next turn, Chakki will be able to play Primordial Drake if he has it in his hand. And Amnesiac knows that. There's like 100% chance that he knows that there's still a coin, there's a chance that there's the Primordial Drake, and most likely, if that's gonna get played, he will not have a way of winning this game anymore. There's still 1 Spellbreaker left, I think, for Amnesiac.
Right.
So that might be a small chance, but he needs still the weapon. So next turn he needs to draw the Arcanite Reaper into a Spellbreaker.
Into the Spellbreaker. Very specific sequence of draws need to happen there. Amnesiac also runs a lot of other cards, though.
And that's still not enough damage to actually kill Chakki in 2 turns.
He needs... there's a lot of other cards in his deck which just aren't any good. Bittertide Hydra, in theory, is okay, but there are 2/4 attack minions on Chakki's side of the board. Bump, bump. Bittertide Hydra's dead.
Yeah. And a lot of damage coming through his face.
Yeah, and it looks like Amnesiac may just have to... Does he have to just go all in here? Play the upgrade, play both Pirate? No, he's going to hold on to the upgrade, okay.
I think the upgrade is not really that needed, because it just gives you way more damage if you just get to draw that weapon next turn.
So necessary to get that 6/3 weapon.
Oh, Amnesiac is hiding his essay. I think he actually wrote those 500 words. So, seems like he knows what's cooking.
Right. As the, as we've been saying all game, the turn 7 coin, Primordial Drake.
I think there's not a single card in the Amnesiac deck that can still turn the tide. So not even a second Spellbreaker in the deck. Even if there will be a Spellbreaker, then he needs more than that.
What is going on? All right. Amnesiac going for the handshake. Chakki looking like he's going to run away, but we get a hug.
That wasn't a hug, it was wrestling.
I don't know. I mean, after game 1, these guys were throwing things at each other, so...
It was wrestling, but it was kind of like low energy wrestling, so it looked like a hug.
Low energy, friendly, wrestling, throwing, hugging.
By the way,
Hearthstone play.
Can you explain me this shirt? I don't actually get it. Me Cooker? No, what kind of cat is that?
Just meow, right?
What?
But why is that an owl?
But what did you... Owl?
I figured meow.
That is not an owl.
No, not owl. Meow is in the sound that cats make. Meow. But I don't know. We'll ask him later. Let's go back to the Hearthstone, because clearly we're not very good at deciphering shirts. But great win for Chakki there. Really showing once again the power of the Dragon Priest. He won game 1 with his mage, lost against the shaman, and then just beat everything with the priest.
Seems like the priest has actually answers to the metagame, but sometimes the decks might be too fast for them to just get those answers in time.
Don't forget, it was a very interestingly teched Dragon Priest. It had the double Galactic Crawler, it had Shadow Word Horror, and possibly some cards we didn't even see yet.
The Shadow Word Horror is a neat card and a niche card at the same time that most likely doesn't have that much impact, but when it has the impact, it just wins the game. But the Galactic Crawler seems to be MVP in a lot of priest decks. We have seen it already in actually 3 decks so far in the tournament when it comes to priests. So a lot of people here in NA anticipated at the metagame at this 10th DreamHack Grand Prix will be a lot of pirates, and seems like it's working.
We've seen a lot more pirates than Taunt Warriors, that's for certain, but we are not done with round 4 of the Swiss just yet. We just witnessed the victory of Chakki, who did win DreamHack Austin 2016. He's now 4-0 in the Swiss, but next up, we've got the guy that Chakki beat in order to win DreamHack Austin 2016. We've got